You got this one being that was talking about in jail, he stuck to the program. He had his own program where he got up at 4:30 in the morning, did his natural routine on the hygiene thing. Then he worked out for like 2 hours, did 800 burpees, up downs. It's what they, it's also called up downs, right? They call them burpees in jail, right? He read for a certain amount of time a day. He wrote for a certain amount of time a day. He stayed on a certain type of program. So you can create your own program. You can create your own programs that work for you instead of using somebody else's program, right? And we're gonna get into more in depth on what types of programs, how to categorize these programs, right? So you can be able to know what programs will work for you and what programs will not work. Cigarettes is a program, and it tells you right on the side of the box what it's designed to do. So you got to realize that everything is a program and what that program is designed to do, and do you want that program inside of your mind, outside of your brain, right? Because the brain and mind is separate, but they're one and the same. The projects or the project housing is a program designed for poverty. They even have what they call the red and blue lines, where they only give 8% of the bank loans to the black community, right? And that is by design of the matrix. So realizing these programs and what they're encoded to do will give you another level up on being unplugged from the matrix. Through my research, I have discovered there are 5 different types of programs. One type of programming is artificial programming, right? Made or produced by human beings rather than occurring naturally, right? And this particular program stems down into different types of encoded programs, like artificial person. An artificial person is an entity created by law and giving certain legal rights and duties of a human being. It can be real or imaginary. Keep that in mind. Imaginary, make believe. And for the purpose of legal reasons, is treated more or less as a human being, right? So the artificial person, because you gotta keep in mind, in order for them to deal with you in the matrix, and the court system is part of the matrix, in order for them to deal with you in the court system, they gotta download your brain with artificial programming, right? And turn you into, and make you think that you are a artificial person, right? Because once they plug you in as an artificial person, then they get jurisdiction over you, right? Keep in mind, every phase of your life inside the matrix is in commerce, right? An artificial person is a straw man, right? Your straw man has license to operate in commerce. That goes for driver license, marriage license, handgun license, right? Building permits, car registration, right? Deeds and mortgages. In order to be plugged into that matrix, you gotta become the straw man, the scarecrow of the Wizard of Oz, the person without a brain. Because once they can give you artificial programming and make you an artificial person, then they can bring you into their courts, right? And proceed to finish you off in the matrix. You also have artificial food, right? Food that is not living. Artificial food, also known as fake food, modified organisms, GMOs, foods with no seeds, or fruits and vegetables with no seeds. This is considered as artificial food. Also, artificial food is macaroni and cheese, cookies, ice cream, right? These are artificial foods, which are a part of the artificial programming. You also have artificial flavors. They have strawberry soda with an artificial flavor on the back, which is a flavor that they have made up and told you this is what strawberry tastes like. Because if you go back to the Matrix, part 1, when Cypher was in the restaurant talking to the agent, eating the steak, he said that he don't even know what the real steak tastes like. But in the Matrix, the steak is telling you that this is steak and it is juicy and that it is savory and etc., right? So they've introduced artificial flavors. Also, artificial colors, right? They put artificial color. They call it food color. They put it in lipstick, toothpaste, nail polish, right? Different sprays and paints. You also have artificial intelligence, which is getting ready to come on the scene rapidly, right? Artificial intelligence is what they're gonna use to program the robots that are going to be rolled out on the streets, because you gotta understand what the Terminator is all about. Robots are machines taking over the future, right? Artificial intelligence. right? Go watch a movie called Eagle Eye, where they have a supercomputer underground that has its own artificial intelligence. Okay? So that is just one type of programming, the artificial intelligence program, right? And like we say, you gotta be an artificial person in order for them to proceed in their courts. They gotta program you as an artificial person. Keep that in mind. Their system is not based on laws. It's based on statutes, ordinance, and code. And there go that word codes again. Because when you talk in codes, then you're dealing around in computers. You see? Because their statutes and codes have nothing to do with law. And in 75% of the case, their statutes and codes contradict the Constitution of America. Always remember, everything is in commerce and is ruled by contracts. Every man is independent of all law except those prescribed by nature. We have free will, y'all, right? Which is why when they come to you, they ask you, do you come on your own free will? Most of the stuff that's happening to us as a people is volunteering. Man is not bound by any institution formed by his fellow man without his consent. You must give your consent. You must volunteer to give up your rights. You see, this is what the Matrix is all about. And like I said, if you want to get more on that, you can go get the tapes called A Court is a Place Where Games Are Played, where we go into detail. Or you get the series, the playlist that we got, go to our playlist and look up The Rise of the Moors and study all those tapes, and you'll get a better understanding on what we're going with the artificial person thing. They also have in the Matrix inanimated programs. This is the second type of program. Inanimated programs are not alive, especially not in the manner of an animal or human. Examples of inanimated programs are cars, truck, guns, shoes, hat, knives, bats, bikes, planes. These are objects that need life form or something to operate it, something to animate it. The car has to be driven by someone. A truck has to be driven by someone. A gun has to be, the trigger has to be pulled by someone in order for it to fire. Shoes or hat has to be worn by someone. I know you get my drift. So inanimated objects are objects that need someone to animate it. These are the types of programs that exist in the Matrix. In animated programs. The third type of program is sentient programs. And sentient programs can be perceived as human beings, but they are not human beings. They can be perceived as animals, but they are not animals. This is also dealing around the shade shifting. This is also dealing around the school programming into businessmen, teachers, lawyers, doctors, carpenters, judges, police, and politics, and etc. They are all sentient programs. Programs designed as part of the Matrix, as part of the maritime system network. Sentient programs only designed to do what they're designed to do. Meaning, if they're a drug dealer and they deal drugs all their life, that's what they were designed to do. And it is passed down because their father probably dealt drugs all his life. These are sentient programs. They are not part of the evolutionary process. They are sentient programs are designed as obstacles and distractions. In the Matrix, the girl in the red dress is a sentient program. She was a distraction, a prostitute. There are women on the streets and not on the streets who sell their body and been selling their body all their life. They are sentient programs. They are programmed just to do that one thing, right? And these different people, they call types of spirits the Jezebel spirit, which is a woman that goes around and breaks up happy homes, who steals other women's men. Jezebel would be an example of a sentient program, right? So these different people who are just designed to do one thing, they designed to be a police, and they designed to harass the less fortunate or a particular targeted ethnic race, right? These are all sentient programs. The fourth type of programming is evolution, the process by which different kinds of living organisms develop. This includes the trees, the animals, the grass, vegetation, right? The planet is even part of an evolutionary program. The whole planet, right? Humans are part of an evolutionary program. The supreme beings who are here avataring humans are even part of the evolutionary program. So everything that's living is part of the evolutionary program. And if you are part of the evolutionary program and you go outside of that and start dealing around with the sentient programs, the inanimated programs, if you're an evolutionary program, you can't get too tied up with animated programs, because animated programs are not part of your genetical codes. And if you get too attached to them, your evolution can be cut off, which is a lot of evolutionary programs get deleted, meaning murder, kill, right? The evolutionary programs are designed to be part of the evolution. So you can't go and deal with artificial things if you're a part of the evolutionary process, right? You're a part of the evolutionary program, and then you go and they try to eat some artificial food like macaroni and cheese, then your computer gets a virus. Then your computer gets sick or get a disease because you are affecting the evolutionary program, which you were designed to do, right? By injecting artificial programs such as macaroni and cheese, cookies, and cake, and milk, right? And then there's a bonus program called the Prime program, which there are several beings who have been injected into the matrix to balance an equation, because all of this is an equation, and balance is universal law. You see? So these are the different types of programming. And you got to keep in mind, if you're part of the evolutionary program, you want to stay away from sentient programs. Doctors are programmed for 10 years to practice. That's why they call their offices or their particular hospitals they set up malpractice. They are practitioners. They call themselves practitioners, meaning they practicing on your ass. Right? Meaning they practicing on you, right? So we want to point out these things, man, so you can see what's going on. Don't get too tied up. If you're part of the evolutionary program, don't get too tied up with the inanimate programs. Inanimated programs, they are part of the matrix. As an evolutionary program, you will eventually evolve past the matrix when you begin to see what's going on in this world today. We must burn out our desires. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. There's only one constant. There's only one real truth. The universe is one. That's right. This world is bound by causality, action, reaction, cause and effect. Keep in mind that thought is the most powerful force in the universe. And my message to those who sit the seats of darkness, those who call themselves the Roth Fellows. I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you are afraid. You are afraid of us. You are afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you, a world without rule and controls, without borders or boundaries, a world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you. Wadu.